going? Yeah, dude, I've been trying to use this actually, that's not even an interesting story. I'm not going to go into it. I've been trying to get this badass microphone to work on Zoom for like 2 months, and it hasn't been working. Zoom is dope because it rips the audio directly from you, the guest, so I don't get that like janky, like recorded from a TV sound. But the problem is it won't let me use. I got this dope microphone.
Right.
The problem is it like wouldn't let me use it. So now my audio sucked. But the guests did an ideal. Which to me didn't matter because I was like, no one wants to hear my dumbass talking. They want to guess. It started with Mike Durant, the Black Hawk Down guy, and I was like, I'd rather have his audio come in crisp and clear and have mine sound like dog shit.
Yeah.
But I decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna plug it in. I don't know why it would work the 900th time, not the first 899. You said, yeah, I can hear you. I was like, fuck it, all right.
Around. This is my first time using Zoom. I mean, I got this badass fucking mic here, but
Mike, what the fuck is that? Oh, for everyone listening, your name's Thomas. My name's Thomas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you operate big ass construction stuff or do something?
Yeah, I'm a utility equipment operator in an aggregate mine.
Fuck yeah. Well, hold on. Let's get back to the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a sick microphone. Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
It's an Audio-Technica AT2020.
How much does that run you?
It's like $150, something like that. It's not too bad.
My little one was $150. I need to bring it up close to my mouth. Yeah, I need to get something like that, man. That looks sick.
I have no use for this thing, but it's cool as shit, man.
Yeah, it's fucking badass, man. Dude, my two friends came over last night, and they're both like techies, and they installed tech. It's all black magic to me, and they came up and looked at my setup. I've got a MacBook on top of three cooling fans stacked on top of each other, and with like a 10 USB port external and a microphone, and they're like, really, man? I was like, fuck you, dude, it works. It looks stupid, but it works. It ain't stupid. But yeah, man. So that is a sick microphone though. But shit, it sounds fantastic.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I might need to get one, man. I might need to. I can't bring myself to like. I would say can't bring myself. No, well, the reality is I don't have any money to make this better. But if I can get my podcast, if I can get my podcast monetized, first thing I'm going to do is just get I just want to crank up the quality of everything.
Oh yeah,
that's the first step. Is you gotta. Right now, I'm making do with what I have, and it's all pretty decent. I figure right now I got to use what I have, and just I have to be the other 99%. Like I got to get good guests. I got to, be able to talk well. Talk good, use big words, but yeah, man. But yeah, once I can get it going, I want to get a setup that just fucking like a goddamn like the ship of a or the bridge of like a spaceship. I want to get microphones, 9 monitors, get everything brushed steel with maybe vacuum sealed moving door.
Exactly. All this shit just because you can.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the other thing, man, is someone was saying dude, if your podcast gets going, are you going to get a studio like Rogan? And I was like, no, because I just like talking to people via Skype, man. I just you're never going to get someone truly comfortable and in their element if they got to fly out to your studio. They got to get a hotel. They got to come in there. They've never been there before. Okay, now I got to be comfortable and I got to deliver a good conversation versus you can just sit in your house, in your room, with or without pants on. I mean, I don't know what guests wear pants or what don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
But wild card. It's It's
the big production thing that makes it an event, and then there's all the anxiety and shit that goes on with that. Yeah. And I'm just sitting in my room like I do every day.
Well, yeah, literally. Yeah, seriously. It's it's just pause whatever game you're playing, do the podcast, and same with me too. It's as soon as this is finished, it's and finished, upload, going to play Far Cry 5. It's not all right, well, thanks for coming on down to the studio. Fuck no, man. Yeah. Again, who's wearing pants? No one knows. It's
remains a mystery.
Yeah. It remains a mystery. Pants or no pants. Schrodinger's pants. But oh yeah, so what kind of fucking big ass shit do you operate? Do you ever play any of those simulator games? You ever see like some of the best-selling games are like Trucking Simulator, like Farming Simulator?
I'm actually on a hunt for an excavator simulator that will let me use the twin sticks that I have for spaceflight games.
That's fucking awesome.
If I can find a game that looks good and works well and is compatible with my sticks, I'll do that shit all the time.
You PC or console?
PC all the way.
Yeah. Again, my two friends one of the guys I've literally known. It's a weird timestamp, but I've known him since 9/11. So he and I have known each other since bowl cuts and braces. But he's always PC master race, and I'm always a dumbass with a console. And literally yesterday, he was like, "When are you gonna get a PC, man?" He's like, "I've been asking you this since like before we had our driver's permits. I'm almost 30."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know, man. I need to, dude. It's." Yeah, but I got an Xbox One X right before quarantine. Like a week before quarantine started, I went and got a used 360 for $40. Not even like the original 360. Got for $40 at GameStop. Just got like the original like Call of Duties, and I was because word on the street was there's gonna be a quarantine, and I was like, well, I like to have some video games if I'm just stuck inside.
Sure, yeah.
Like live at home with my parents. I'm 29. I'm like, I don't need to be going insane. Start shooting. So figure I will start shooting, but it will be virtual and no one will get hurt. And so went and got an Xbox 360. And the guy was like, $2 warranty, and I was like, fuck it, why not? And naturally, after 5 days, the Xbox stopped working because it's a 360 that came out in 2005. Had like a Halo skin, and I was like. So I went back in like the day before, like the Maryland, which is where I am, the quarantine, the big dick of the government came down and it was like, everyone go inside. Yeah. But he was like, we don't have any 360s. And I was just being like a little like, beta bitch. I was like, oh, okay. I'll, walking out with my tail between my legs. He was like, no, we have to honor your warranty. And I was like, yeah, when are you going to get the new 360s? And he was like, well, quarantine lockdown's coming at midnight tonight, and so we're not going to get any shipments until maybe fall. And I was like, God damn, again, not putting up a fight like a total bitch. I was like, well, you tried, like, walking out. And he was like, man, I think there's a loophole. He was like, this is a kind of an extraordinary case of like, you have a warranty and there's a pandemic and I have to honor it. Came back and was like, congratulations, man. And he gave me the only thing they had, which was an Xbox One X, 1 terabyte.
Shit, yeah, man.
Brand new for my $40 Xbox. Woo! So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I everyone else, coronavirus has wreaked havoc. I got an Xbox One X, and everyone's staying at home, so everyone's free to do a podcast. People that normally I would never be able to get on, fucking like Mike Durant.
Yeah.
Who owns a defense contracting company, Pinnacle Solutions. Shout out Durant. The only way I can ever get someone like that is because the global economy, the entire world is stuck inside. So it's like, oh, that's terrible. Coronavirus sucks. Are you free to do a podcast? Like, so in a way, I am like a war profiteer just with coronavirus. It is doing wonders for me.
Hey man, whatever works,
Yeah, I'll burn in hell for it later. What space flight games are you playing?
Elite Dangerous that's like number one. Yeah.
Is it a simulator or a game?
It's a game. Like just fly around, kill shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's fun.
Have you ever played any of the Far Cry's or Just Cause?
Yeah, I'm halfway through 5. I keep forgetting to play
Far Cry?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. I didn't even know what these games were until last week. I downloaded 4. I was like, it was like $10 on Xbox, and I was like, all right, dude, I loved it. I was like, this is fantastic. So I downloaded, So I downloaded 5. And I was like, I'll splurge on it. I am in love with it.
It's fucking great, man.
It's fucking great, dude. I'm not playing any missions. What I'm doing is I just decided, I was like, I'm just gonna try something I haven't done before. All I'm doing is I'm going to the farm, killing cows. Throwing the bait, killing the bears or the cougars, selling it, upgrading the gun. So before the game starts, I've now been doing this for about 72 hours. I've now got a silenced 50 cal. I've got the MG42. I've got 2 silenced M60s. I've got a Desert Eagle. I haven't played a single mission. except what you have to play.
Yeah, so, honestly, I mean, that's the way to do it, man. It's going to be a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to max everything out. Probably going to take another 3 days. And then I'm just going to fucking run a train on these fucking backwoods rednecks. I'm just going to mission. It's going to literally be like the meme, like, you know, when you're at the final boss, but you've done every side mission. Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm going to go. I'm going to have every gun slot open, everything maxed out, just like chrome MG42s with armor-piercing bullets, and like even my pistols have like sniper scopes on them. But yeah, because apparently it's probably some psychology to that. Like, you were bullied as a child, so now you're taking it out on fictional characters. You're being the man you never could be. Like, all right,
well, hey, it's fun. It, you know.
Yeah, man. Dude, 5 is creepy though.
It is.
It is very creepy.
4
reminded me a lot of Just Cause 3. I don't know if you played Just Cause.
Yeah,
you were Bello, Pagan Man. It was like fun, but it was just like unrealistic enough that it was like fun. It was like, here's this flamboyant guy with, you know, like the whoosh, like anime hair and like a silky reflective pink suit, and he's like a cannibal. Like, yeah, it was awesome. But 5 is like, so I went to school in Valdosta, Georgia for 2 years, my first 2 years of college, 2009 and 10, which is, the way I describe it is, it's a time capsule to 1860. Far Cry 5 is a little uncomfortable because, whereas I think most people are like, oh, this is a crazy video game, I'm like, this isn't like that far off.
I know right where you're coming from, dude.
Georgia.
For a time, I lived in Pulaski, Tennessee, which, if you don't know, is the birthplace of the KKK. It's the building's still there. The plaque's hanging on the wall. I mean,
fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So that shit is not that far off. I've lived in that environment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. It's like, I lived in Atlanta for 15 years. Like, I'm from New England. Like, Atlanta's the South, sure, but I mean, like, it's, regardless of what people think, it's no more or less racist than any other city.
Yeah.
Deep South Georgia, man, that is something that, like, you really do have to visit to describe it. It's not just like you hear the N-word and it's like, oh, what was that? It's like, when you hear it like casually and with no like you're being edgy and saying a bad word, when it's just
it's just a conversation and you're the only person in the room, like, what?
Yeah, and you're snapping necks, like, you just said that, you just said that, and then you realize, like, not only is it casual, but it's so like embedded down there that you're like, oh, there's like they're comfortable saying it because it's, they run the show.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and then you hear like police say it, and you're like, oh. You're like, oh, fuck.
Right. Yeah. You start looking around like, what the fuck am I?
Yeah, and then you're like, yeah, it's like, I remember the first day I was like, hey man, you shouldn't say that, and someone was like, shut up, and I was like, you know what, I'm okay, I'll shut up. Like, I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna goose step with these motherfuckers, but like, I'm also not gonna, I'm gonna like, you know, I'm just gonna hide out until the war is over, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I live in Alabama now. It's kind of the same. You end up like this guy on one side of the room, just like coexisting, not taking part.
Yeah. And it really is like, yeah, man, I was telling my friends last night, dude, the story of when I started working at a bar, Flip Flops Bar and Grill in Valdosta, Georgia. My first day was August 2010, right after I turned 20. Sophomore year of college, and really setting the stage. But there was a thin wisp of smoke in the air. I wasn't wearing underwear. But like, I started, man, and they're just, you know, it's one of the big, it's, you know, the frat bars, and the frat always, you know, run everything in college. And they're like, yeah, man, pretty simple rules, you know, 21 to come in unless they got a fake, make sure it's just, you know, plausible deniability for us. If they're, and then rule 2, if they're under 21 and they have a bad fake, you got to put like an X on. They're still allowed to come in if they're 18. You got to put an X on their hands. Rule 3, got to have shoes on. Okay. And rule 4, no N-word. Just hard R.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, man. Just I was like,
oh, that is what you said.
I was like, you said, oh, okay. And and I'm like, what do I say though? So I just say, hey, bud, sorry, no. And they're like, well, no, just tell them that they're not in code. I was like, what if they're, because it's such a asinine idea.
Right.
I'm like, you gotta like, I just came from private Catholic high school in Atlanta. Like, you gotta, sorry, we don't do that up there. It's I know it's backwards to you guys, but we judge people on the character of their personality. But he was like, yeah, just say that they're not in dress code. I was like, okay. It's like, well, because by the time you've pre-gamed and come downtown on a Friday night, are you really gonna go all the way home? You're drunk, you can't drive. You're really gonna get a cab, go home and change and come back? No, you're gonna go to the next bar because chances are you're with a group of people. And what do you're not gonna go home. It's like the flow of the night. You don't want to. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, okay, what if they do go home, get changed, and come back, and are challenging these asinine rules? They go, oh yeah, no, sure, just let us know, and we'll start slowly turning like the lights on. Because, no one wants to go to a club with all the lights on. They want to be dark. So ugly motherfuckers like myself can flirt with girls, right? You don't want all the lights on. It's not fun. And they're like, and yeah, we'll just turn up like a Toby Keith really loud.
Jesus.
I was like,
damn, you really thought all this out, didn't you?
Yeah. I was eventually fired from that job. But
yeah.
it just wasn't something I would. They'd be like, hey, man, why'd you let him in? I'd be like, oh, man, they went home and changed. I was just like, I'm not sorry, man. I'm not sleeping if I do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude. Fuck that place. That being said, I mean, it's not that far off. When there's a thing down there called camp meeting. It was also happened a lot in North Georgia, outside of, because I transferred to the University of Georgia because I was like, hey, get the fuck out of here. It was a step up, but there was still. I stayed with some friends in and around Athens, White County, called White County. There's a reason why Athens is one of the poorest towns in the nation. It's because in like the 60s, all the white wealthy people moved out when social programs started, and they established White County. And you can't make this shit up, man.
Right, because of course they did,
Of course, So they have White County, which I think all the original races there are dead, because I was friends with a lot of the guys. But yeah, so I went up there, and there's something called camp meeting, and it's for once a year. You go out into like the woods, and there's literally like these old log cabins that have been there since like fucking like Custer roamed the lands, and you have church out in it's all these places surround this big circle, probably, I don't know, 500 yards wide, and it's just a circle of like old log camps. None of them have doors, none of them have windows. It's just, you're just in the Georgia elements in all of its beauty, all of its human beauty. And you go out and you have church in the middle of this like tall grass. Try not to get like sunburned. And they do church, and it's like you do church like all day, every day for like a week. And basically it's kind of like everyone's checking in on everyone. It's like, are you following the Lord's teachings? And like some of the younger guys, like my friends that I went out there with, they're like, hey man, I know this is fucking backwards. So it's like, okay, I can just, I was like, I'm gonna go do it because it's gonna be a trip. Like I had a pop brownie, went out there. I was like, I just want to see this shit. And man, tying it back into Far Cry 5.
Yeah. It's
not that far off. I mean, they're all armed to the fucking teeth. They're all white as rat, brother. It's what's your favorite verse? Mine's Leviticus. I'm like, oh, I like the Golden Rule. That one was like, Genesis, classic. Like, oh, you went to private Catholic school for 12 years. What's your favorite part of John? And I was like, it's all great, man.
But just can't pick a favorite,
It's like Office Space. Michael Bolton, what's your favorite song? I'm a Bolton fan. I'm a Leviticus fan. What can I say? Love his work. But yeah, dude. Georgia's not far off from. If anyone was tuning into this podcast to listen to that construction, clearly we're not going there. We're going on Far Cry. But it's yeah, man, it's not that far off. I mean, like Confederate flags on every truck, check. I mean, every truck. That's not a, as you know, it's not a fucking like, oh, they had a Confederate flag. That's crazy. Is it going to be on Reddit? Like, no, man. It's like, why don't you have a Confederate flag on your truck? Tommy, there, you just froze up. Siamis. You froze up with me. And it's a hilarious image that you're frozen. Your eyes look huge. Well, I'm going to fill the gap until he comes back on. Confederate flags in Georgia, literally every truck has them. And it's not something like a token thing you see. It's every single frat truck has them. Every truck parked on the front lawn of every frat house has them. Thomas, you back?
I'm back.
Okay, your image is still frozen, but
that's fantastic.
Okay. Fuck. Whatever. It should fix. It's a little weird. You're frozen like this. You're just staring at me. Whatever. I don't know why it's up. You just wait.
I don't know what's happening.
Now I see your avatar. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the frat or that the Confederate flags on all the frat trucks.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. You go in a parking lot and there's 60 of them.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah,
it's not this like, it's not some like Southern guy being like edgy, you know, my heritage. Like, right. But you don't like what people don't understand is that like in these deep South towns, none of it is like, you know, people protesting quarantine where it's like, you got to all get together and then we're going to go out and make our statement. It's more powerful than that because it's so nonchalant. It's, again, like we were saying with like the N-word, it's not like, oh, so-and-so got really drunk last night and said that at a party. It's like, no, what you got to understand is this is like Tuesday morning at brunch. Like,
yeah, it's so deeply ingrained. It's not even a question.
It's just a pronoun. It's just,
it just is. That's just reality for them.
Yeah, it's just, and to me, that is what makes it like more powerful.
Yeah,
is that it's not this like hyped up thing, you know? Right. It's like
you try to have a conversation about it, and you can't. It's not like somebody who's adopted a belief and you can talk them out of it. It just is the way they are.
Exactly. It's trying to, yeah, man. I don't know why your video's not there. I'm just looking at your avatar. It's,
I don't know
whatever, man. This is going to be an exercise in spontaneity. We're gonna carry this conversation together.
There you go.
But camp meeting. But yeah, it's like, it's not this edgy thing. It's not this, you know, woo, we're being wacky. It really is just as, I don't know, man. It's no different than dude or bro or, you know, what's up, girl? Or that's what it is. And because of that, you know, have you ever looked at like anti-women's suffrage movement, like articles from like 1910? It's a very specific thing. I don't know why the fuck you look at it.
But no, but I mean, yeah, I have encountered stuff like that. And looking back today, it's like, what the fuck?
But you see stuff, and it's like these well-respected guys like Astor or Vanderbilt or Carnegie or whatever those generational wealth names. You see some of these guys, Rockefeller, and they're like, you know, like women shouldn't vote because women can be silly. And it's just like, they're all like, ole, like they nod with their cigars and like their Model Ts with teak wood floorboards. And they're just like, women are silly. It's that simple. They are silly. And it's just like, but it's like these guys who are not like objectively stupid because they run these massive corporations, these steel corporations, they're these railroad tycoons. They influence like global politics. Like, but when you see how nonchalant it was to them, women are silly. It's understood. They are silly. They are emotional beings, you know, sort of like Anchorman. They have a brain half the size of ours. You know, it's science, you know, but like, that's what it is. I don't really know where we're going with this.
You know.
Yeah. I'm really throwing me for a loop not seeing your video.
I think I might have it go.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
There we go. We're back. We're back ready for action. But it's yeah. I don't really know where we're going with that, but
it's a rabbit hole, man.
I'm trying to be like less strict with my podcast.
I mean, those are the best conversations to listen to.
Yeah. I figure like some guests like Mike Durant or like the guy that helped kill John Wayne Gacy. I'm like, these are like specific conversations.
Yeah, those are names.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, so how about airline food? Ooh, you know? I don't want to be like talking about like N-words with like these guys are just like, who the fuck are you? Like, I'm doing this for you. It's like, But other times I'm just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a forced conversation, so like, how about you tell me about your favorite construction equipment? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's woo. But
yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's yeah, man. You're in Alabama now.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck
Just
that.
opportunity presented itself, so here I am for now.
Fuck yeah. Isn't there a lot of like aren't there a lot of, because that's actually where I believe Mike Durant's company is. Isn't there a lot of like space flight and defense contractors in Alabama?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Like people don't think about that, but it is. It's Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama is a very interesting place because it's this amalgamation of rocket surgeons and the most backwoods people in the world. And they're just smushed together in this city.
Rocket. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's true. That's like the head trip of like Athens, Georgia. Because Athens is like, you get these brains from Atlanta, but you get these like culturally entrenched people from like Valdosta.
Yeah.
And you get this intermingling. It's this hybrid where it's like they've shed all of their like racist bullshit, but they still got all this like, let's go trap fitting, boy. Like, but these are some of the guys that like got into the same medical schools as I did. So it's like, these guys like, yeah, man, we were out there having rootin' tootin' time, boy, woo! And it's like, but then like they get like a 98 on like the organic chemistry test. And they're like, boy, you got to think about the benzene rings like this. You got hyperconjugation with your S2 orbitals. And it's like, that is to me was the biggest head trip, was like, you're these guys that are like getting into like Hopkins med school, but still got farmer tans and like dip. And like, oh, boy, it's like I'm going to the big city. And like, yeah. But I've heard that about Huntsville. I saw a thread on Reddit. They're like, yeah, man, you got these like good old boys talking about like fishing with shotguns.
Yeah.
And then like the next conversation they have is like muffled, or it's like below their breath because they're talking about like classified aircraft systems. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Between the arsenal and, fucking NASA and all that shit, there's so much different smashed together here.
Yeah. What do you think? What led to it being in Alabama?
I'm sure there's a very good reason that I could probably Google, but off
probably
the top of my head, I
would think.
Probably.
LBJ is from Texas, right?
I think so.
Makes sense. We'll just go with that. We don't fact check here.
Yeah,
LBJ is now from Texas. But I was thinking it has to be something like, I mean, like any like political spending or pork barrel spending. It's like, I'll pass this through. I'll get NASA a contract to go to the moon. I don't give a fuck about the moon because it's 1960s rural Alabama. If you put one of those, manufacturing plants here, we're going to the moon. Like, I think that's just how it happens. Like, like Cape Canaveral, if that makes sense. I think it had to be like a southern point near the equator because you can get a better. You have to use less fuel to get to escape velocity at the equator. That makes sense. But other shit, I imagine it just feels like political favors. Like there's no reason for it. Like apparently one of the big things with like Boeing and Northrop Grumman is they have like a massive amount of like money each year that goes towards studying like every member of Congress. And it's what you do is you don't want all your plants in one state because you can only own so much. If you've got these senators in your pocket, once you've got two in your pocket, you can't get those two anymore in your pocket. They're already there. It's overkill. So you want to make sure that parts of the F-22 Raptor are, we don't have any guys in Michigan though. Fuck it, we're producing the canopies in Michigan. Like we don't have anybody in North Carolina. You guys want to make 30 millimeter cannons, like, but they do that, and it's a way of like sort of putting your roots into every state.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Hey man, it's the American machine. I figure we should probably touch on construction, but
maybe.
Well, fuck it. We'll dip our toes in. If we don't like it, we'll
sure
run out and go back to the safe grounds of Far Cry.
No rules, man.
Yeah. John Seed's like a bitch. I feel like John Seed. I feel like he like shaves his pubes into like a landing strip.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just okay. uncalled for. But
mm-hmm.
yeah. What all do you operate?
Mainly large wheel loaders.
That is. Yeah, explain that to me, man. Wheel loader to me could be something with a big wheel, or it could be something like the Bagger 288.
So specifically a wheel loader because it's a front end loader with rubber tires, as
Okay.
opposed to a track loader or something like that.
Okay.
Specifically a Caterpillar 990 or 992.
Okay.
Which fucking huge. Like the 990 weighs 200,000 pounds, for example.
Christ. Yeah. Jesus, 992. Hold on, keep talking. I need to look that up so I can get a frame of reference.
Yeah. And then you get the 992, and that's, for example, we use 70-ton haul trucks. The truck is 45 tons, but it can haul 70 tons of rock. And the 992 will load one of those trucks with between 65 and 70 tons in 3 buckets.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
It's a dump truck right there.
Yeah. It's incredible, and I love it.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Jesus. So you're about half as, or that's not, I don't know why I'm just, that's you. That's you. It's on Google. That's you. Fuck it. There's Thomas. That guy looked about half as tall as the tire. Maybe a little over 3/4 as tall as a tire.
Yeah, depending on what you get in. Yeah, for like the 92, I probably come up about middle of the rim.
Fuck. What's the gas like on those?
Running.
Yeah.
Like operating in production, it's about 25 gallons per hour.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
25 gallons per hour. Mm-hmm. You don't get, there's no way you measure that shit per mile, right?
Oh, no. Everything goes by, everything goes by hours or tons produced.
That makes sense. Yeah, because all your power you're doing is just brute force ups and downs.
Yeah, and when training a production loader operator, the whole goal is the fewest amount of rotations possible. So you want to get the truck in as close as you can, angle just a little bit. So you go in the pile, get the bucket, back up like half a rotation, done.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was just looking at some of those big ass dump trucks, and I was like, there's probably like a science to it. There's probably like you want to, like, because it may not seem like much. Yeah, you're just driving back and forth, but it's like, that's where savings are made. And it's like, if this corporation's trying to get the biggest bottom line and they got this truck, and it's like, they don't want you doing like bullshit circles and taking your time. It's like, if you're moving 200,000 pounds of metal, you want to get it to the most efficient, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you want to get into it, there's a whole world of machine operation theory.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I imagine there is. Yeah.
And there are plenty of people who just get into it and they just learn the basics and they're fine with that. But the really good, successful guys who, like the big names in the industry, they're the ones who just, honestly, most of them just had a knack for it from the beginning. And then they studied.
Okay.
So there's a whole world out there of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just imagining like these like Karl Marx figures. These guys just talking about these like esoteric themes of of machine theory, like smoking pipes and like the high bell towers of Yale. Like, no, you've always been about this. You know, I've told you once, I've told you a million times. Like Goodwill Hunting, huge like chalkboards. Like, who's that kid that solved that problem?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. Have you seen the So I was looking up the dump trucks. What's like that proper term for those? Not big ass dump trucks, but
the technical term is a haul truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big mining truck. Yeah. You can't tell my vocabulary is really diverse. Big haul truck, big mining. Yeah.
It's no better in the industry though, man.
Okay. Yeah. But have you seen it's called the Belaz set? Yeah, if you have your phone, you got to look this fucker up.
All right.
It carries 490 tons.
Jesus.
Yeah, the Belaz, Belaz. It'll probably be, it's like 7.7.
Oh, yeah.
Look that up, yeah.
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 I just want an hour to drive that thing, man.
Dude, it's insane.
That's the thing about operating equipment. Like the first time, I mean, I got into this just 'cause I needed a job. I was applying at gas stations alongside this.
Yeah.
And I get in there and it's the first job I've ever had that I haven't gotten tired of yet.
Okay.
But you get to it and you get in there and the big shit that was like, holy fuck, when you first get there, it feels like nothing now. So you keep on to go bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So Facing the dragon.
Yeah, exactly. I want to experience that again because the first time I was there, I saw a loader driving across the yard like half a mile away. Holy shit, man!
Yeah, it's just
huge,
like a dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get in there and you do it for a couple of years, and it feels like walking or driving a car.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the first time driving like a U-Haul or something.
Yeah,
you're like, I got this big old fucking rig, and then by like the second day of moving shit, you're just whipping it around like it's nothing. Yeah.
It's actually a big safety issue. We have to remind ourselves to realize how fucking big this shit is.
Yeah.
How fast it can kill you, because you get in it and you're around it all day, every day.
Yeah.
You forget. It doesn't seem that big anymore.
Grow accustomed to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of get soft. Now, do you get like more and more confident? Do you do some like, I don't know, do you like any like cool moves? Like relative cool moves to like the first guy getting in it, it's like doing it all by the book versus the fucking, the veteran just like fucking wheeling and dealing like.
Yeah, especially in haul trucks, because those things, the new stuff, it's like driving a pickup. Everything's automatic. There's nothing complicated about it. They'll go 40 miles an hour carrying 70 tons in the back. So you get people that have been driving for a while, or you get a cowboy on site, and you can whip those fucking things.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous as fuck. But
yeah, well, because you got to remember, momentum is mass times velocity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, it's like that's why like a speck of paint can put like a hole in a satellite.
Yeah.
It weighs 1/100 of a gram mass, but it's going 17,000 miles an hour.
Right.
So you jack that motherfucker up.
Yeah. So you take a 45-ton truck and then put 70 tons of limestone on the back. Not much stands a chance against it.
And even if you're going 5 miles an hour,
right,
there's mass times velocity. So it's, that fucker bumps into your Civic. I can bump into one Civic with another Civic going 2 miles an hour, and it's kind of just nothing much. But I mean, if you've got going on a city bus or a dump truck, I mean, like, I learned the importance of like why I'm never gonna drive a motorcycle from Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So I've said this every podcast. I don't know why I keep saying it, but like the only way I stay sane, like I love to listen to audiobooks, and I just listen to them while playing video games on mute. So like right now I'm going through Far Cry. I'm going to play Far Cry once. I'll learn the story so I know what's going on, so I don't have to like listen to like what the fuck's happening. And then I'll just go back through and I'll play it. I'm not kidding you. I'll play the campaign 100 times.
I can't believe there's another one of us out there, because I used to do that shit like 8 hours a night. Listen to podcasts and shit, playing GTA 4, just hours.
Yeah, you get speed. Like, dude, I can get like a respectable speed run time on GTA 5.
Yeah,
I can beat it in a day now. I know the record's like 7 hours. I can get it in like 20. It doesn't sound like much, but for all you other worthless fucks out there, you
try that shit.
You try that shit. I'll break your back while listening to a documentary on Eisenhower. Yeah. I'll tell you about his mistress in 1939. Well taken down Merriweather, but like, so yeah, that's what I do. But yeah, so just playing hundreds of hours of Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 and listening to documentaries about fucking Nazis or the history of the NSA or whatever, just the future of space flight. But just getting around and like always doing like, trying to get like speed runs. It's like you always got to, you got to spawn a car real quick or spawn a helicopter. But one thing I always found was like it was always more efficient to like run the extra 100 yards to the nearest car as opposed to the motorcycle, because the motorcycle, if you crashed once, you go flying and your character dies. And while doing speed runs, you can't be dying. So like it was more, I found that it was I was like, okay, just like feel like forever, like run the extra 30 seconds to go grab the SUV.
Mm-hmm.
But it was through that I realized, I was like, oh, like, okay, so I'm never going to ride a motorcycle. Because even in Grand Theft Auto, a game that is a game, it's not real. I'm playing to just fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Even in there, I avoid motorcycles because I'm like, no, it's not advantageous because I die too quickly. Well, there's no respawn time here. So that would just be period, I die. But that's also like where I like really started to understand and respect like mass times velocity.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, because if you can get just cooking in like the dump truck, right? And there's a police barricade, you don't even need to be at full speed, man. You just got to aim for like not the center of gravity, just the front of the back of the police barricade. You're gonna send those fuckers just yeeting off into the distance. Yeah, I don't really know what the importance of discussing that was, but like,
I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, just going real fast and dangerous.
Yeah, and depending on where we're working, we have some really steep ramps and roads that go up to the mountain or down into the hole or whatever. And you get guys who don't understand. In a haul truck, you have a transmission brake in addition to regular brakes. If you just stay on the regular brakes up the whole time, you're going to die. The brakes will overheat and you'll just sail down the hill. Yeah. So you have to use a transmission retarder. You get guys that don't understand that, and that's how people die, or they fuck shit up, or break this $1.5 million truck.
Yeah. Yeah, in New Hampshire, in northern New Hampshire, like on all the logging roads, you'll see going down hills on like highways, they have those like offs. They almost look like dirt off ramps, but they're just like it just looks like gravels on the road, but it's like dug out 10 feet deep, and it's just it's literally like a play pit, like a toy, or like a toy, or like a Chuck E. Cheese's play pit, but out of gravel. And it's four of these fucking semi trucks with, Jesus knows how much weight of just like 200-year-old oak trees or something, and they're going down the hill and the fucking shit breaks and they can't stop. You're gonna kill everyone. So instead, they have these offs, and it's literally like every half mile. And you run into them, and then what it does is it just absorbs all the kinetic energy.
Right.
Yeah, man. Which I was thinking, like, how fast do you think one of those like Balaz 77510s can get going? Because they say they can carry 495 tons.
I would imagine not super fast, but I don't know. Like, I wouldn't expect a 70-ton truck to go 40, but it does.
It does.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it might be able to just fucking cook, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It probably takes a long ass time to get up there, but once you're there.
Once you're there, it's man, I think about those things and I'm like, my mind immediately goes to like, you ever been on that subreddit, Shitty Technicals? That's a fucking awesome subreddit. Shout out Shitty Technicals. It's just, a technical is, for everyone that doesn't know, I didn't know what it was until like a week ago. Is like, that's just a term for like any like pickup truck, any like makeshift like gun truck, basically. Like a tank, no, like that's like built to be a tank. Is a Humvee with like a 50 cal, is that considered a technical? I guess it's not a shitty technical.
I would say probably not. It's engineered that way, but
maybe actually, I think a technical, it can be engineered. I think the purpose of shitty technicals is like it's like a Toyota with like an AA gun in the back. Right. It's like, watch Black Hawk Down. It's like all of those trucks. Or anything you see in like the Middle East, like ISIS videos. It's always like a fucking Toyota with like a goddamn like 8-barrel Soviet AA gun from like the siege of Sevastopol on the back. It's all and they're not built for it. They're not like engineered to absorb and like correct. So like after the first shot, none of them are on mark.
Oh no.
The truck isn't made. The truck is made for hauling like fertilizer,
right?
Not for fucking
accuracy through volume, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep shooting.
Yeah. So I was seriously. It's my friend was in the army, served in Iraq, and he told me, he's like, I learned from he's like, I never thought I'd apply something from the army to the field of dating, but he's like, it's true. You can't miss if you shoot everything.
It's a good point. That is a damn good point.
I was like, I'm like, it's kind of gross, man. But I was thinking for like shitty technicals. I was like, what would happen if they got some like big ass mining equipment? They're gone, right? Were they defeated? If not, they're like crippled.
Right. At the very
They're
least,
not a thing anymore.
Not a thing anymore.
They're not the popular kids on the block. They had their run.
Not in the scene anymore, you know.
They all get their 15 minutes. You get Al Qaeda, Taliban, Hezbollah. Dude, you don't get to play forever.
No. You gotta take a shot. If you miss, you're just out.
You take your shot, man. It's American Idol. They went and they gave their best, but fortunately, Daddy America came in and laid pipe. And, but I was thinking like, so I didn't know there's a Delta Force guy I had on talked about. He said there's like actually a specific term for car bombs. It's SVBIED, something vehicle-borne improvised explosive device.
Okay.
Car bomb. One thing that I guess ISIS got one of these like Caterpillar haul trucks, and they were like, we're not gonna like Allahu Akbar this bitch. Like they're, instead of blowing it up, because what they do with these car bombs is you just gun them at like a security checkpoint,
right?
And it's like you try to put as much explosives, C4, TNT, maybe even tannerite, anything that's just going to give a big enough shockwave that even if like, because the driver is a suicide bomb, so it's like even if they can get within 100 yards before they catch a 50 cal to the forehead, it's like the idea is that this thing will still go, right? And then even if you miss by 50 yards, when that fucker goes off, you're still going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
And so instead of doing that, what they did was, instead of using it as a car bomb, instead they like Mad Max this bitch. They put like metal grates on the windows so they could barely see, but so they can get shot. They put like these like makeshift like wheel covers that almost went down to the ground so you can't shoot the tires. It's all just like welded metal sheets, different colors and stuff. And it's like the corrugated metal. It's like a sign from like a Shoney's. Like it's just, but they get this fuck going up. And the idea was I think they saved it and they used it on like 10 straight checkpoints because they would get going full speed and then just barricade through because this thing weighs 300 tons. Yeah. And so, and these poor Iraqi security forces, they're trying to take it down with small arms fire. And this thing's just like, like honk, honk, bitch. And like, I think it was finally taken down because they got too close to Daddy America. I think they came to a Daddy America checkpoint, and instead of using 7.62s, we just shot a couple javelins at it. Just fucking put some molten tungsten through the driver's seat at 2 miles out. Technology, bitch. Seriously. Yeah. We're going to shoot a rocket at you that's going to arc and then come down like a goddamn suicide bomber. Yeah. These things meant to go through tanks. Your shitty makeshift school project.
You want to drive in here? No, I'm just going to smite you from the air.
I'm literally going to smite you with the power of God. Yeah. It's, woo, America. But, so I was thinking, like, what if they got one of those, though? And they still did the whole Mad Max bitch, and they made it so you can't shoot it, but you also made it a suicide bomb. What if you filled up the goddamn back of the hull with C4 or just mortars, but not like mortar guns? I just mean like neatly stacked, just like mortar rounds. Like shit, man.
That would be one hell of a bomb. And
you could get into like, upper like conventional explosive limits.
Yeah.
Because they can't pull off nuclear, thank God. They're in the Stone Age. They can't pull off that shit. But like,
yeah, but you stack,
get to it. Yeah,
pile enough firecrackers in there, you're still gonna kill some shit.
Yeah, we did some tests when we were trying to see like how small a kiloton nukes would work against Navy ships in the 50s. They actually did a couple things where they made these spheres of like, I think it was like literally TNT, but it was like specially engineered spheres. But these things were like 30 feet like in diameter. And they'd set it off all at once because apparently if you did that, you could get like a shock wave like comparable to like a 1 kiloton. Like I think they were trying to do tests, like what would it be like? Because we knew the Soviets had nuclear torpedoes. The Cold War was crazy like that. But like that's what they did was they set off TNT. The Moab, the mother of all bombs. that's conventional. It's not nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get to a point where you can, or it was GB, is it GB-83s or GB? It's these big ass fucking bombs that we were dropping in like Desert Storm, where you could like, you drop it and everything within 5 miles, like people, like they'd say, you just see people walking out like bleeding from the eyes, like it's just a shockwave.
Yeah, it just liquefies you inside.
Yeah. So if you could get like a Balaz 77510 and just fill that fucker up with C4. Well, fuck it, whatever you have. C4, some oil drums. Fuck it, just throw some ammo back there.
Yeah, fucking anything. That's a hell of a lot of moving mass. That's a giant fucking explosion, and that's a fucking lot of shrapnel.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, how do they make those bombs? What do they do with the backpack bombs? They always, you put the explosive in the center, and then what do? They fill it up with nails. So that's what the Boston bombers did. So, or some of the suicide bombers, they'll wear the vest, but then they'll also put on just like, they'll literally put on just like cartons of like bearings, ball bearings. Yeah. Because that's life over there. That being said, man, what if you just fucking like just covered the dump truck in that? You know, like Jesus. Like you could get within like you could get within distance that even if you were hit with a javelin missile, you might still be able to do some damage.
I mean, something's probably still going to roll towards the target, even if the rest of it's, you blow half of it off, but something's still moving towards you.
Yeah. Well, even if they completely took it out, the idea is that like once the explosive gets close enough, it's like, we had these missiles in the Cold War called Genies, and they were 0.1 kiloton air-to-air missiles, unguided. But the idea was that we just had to hit anywhere near a Soviet bomber formation. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they evade it by, 5,000 feet. That fucker goes off. The shockwave is still just going to rip your plane apart. So if you get that thing close enough. But I mean, dude, that's dangerous. And like, wave to the NSA. If you got one of those and like wherever like the Olympics are, let's say you do some jihadi shit and like, you can only do so much terrorism in the Middle East, but it's like the entire, it's like when you've like destroyed everything on a map, when you're playing a game and you've literally just like, it's 3 a.m. and you're just running around shooting every last barrel and window and the map is just destroyed. That's kind of the Middle East. It's like, you can only fuck it up so much more.
Right. That's everywhere you go. It's like, man, somebody already fucked this shit up.
It's literally, I mean, they literally pulverized it to sand. Like, no, I know that's not why there's sand there, but like, that's what I heard. But yeah, John Seed told me. But but it's so again. So wave to the dragnet surveillance, boys. If you were building a big ass SVB IED, sure you could, but I mean, someone is going to see it. Some intelligence asset is going to see it and tip someone off. And it's like, if you start to get anywhere near the edge of like someone else's country, they're just going to airstrike that bitch. So what you would do is you'd have to get something where those trucks aren't necessarily out of the ordinary. Let's say you were in London or Rio, or are the Olympics going to be in Tokyo?
Oh fuck! I don't
They're supposed to be this year, right? I guess with COVID.
Who knows?
Yeah, who fucking knows, man?
I don't know.
If you got some truck like that, it wouldn't be that out of the ordinary. Someone would just assume there was like a mine somewhere or just big ass construction. You could get one of those within like 10 blocks of where you want it to go, and you're still going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's what I always think about. It's just how I started the very first podcast episode, and I ended up not recording. Maybe it's for the best. My idea was, why have there been no car bombs in the United States? And I just think if terrorism really wants so terror, sure, you can do something big like 9/11. But when you're going for that level, when you're getting more and more complex and going after bigger and bigger targets, you're also putting a target on yourself in the intelligence communities.
Yeah.
Versus a car bomb, that's one person. There doesn't need to be any communications. So there's no OPSEC. There's no one's getting a tip off. You know, you're not looking at some sketchy stuff. How come Abdul Muhammad wants to learn how to fly a 747 so badly? Like, that's one thing I thought is, how come there have been not one car bomb in the United States? If you really want to sow terror, that's how you do it. 9/11, sure. But I mean, like, that passes, and, you know, we're going to go and fuck up your country even more than it was fucked up.
Well, you brought up a good point about equipment, because like you put on a white hard hat and a reflective vest, you can go anywhere you want. So you see equipment being moved down the road, you just get the fuck out of the way. You assume they know what they're doing.
Exactly. So I don't think twice about it. Yeah. I mean, Dark Knight Rises. How does Bane pull off his master plan? It's a bunch of dump trucks and cement mixers.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. Nobody questions that shit. That's just it's background stuff.
Even downtown Manhattan. Like, you know, it's like, that's like, even there is a place where you dump truck, you're like, oh, they're doing something important. Get out of the way. Like, next to a school, they're doing something important. In a nice neighborhood, some rich dude's putting in a pool. You don't think twice about it.
No.
God damn, man.
It's a scary thought. It's an excellent question, too. Why hasn't that happened?
Why has there not been one?
Yeah.
Now, why has there not been many? Why has there not even been one? And to me, that has led to one of two answers that my simple mind can come up with. The first is that the intelligence community is just fucking running at full steam, and they're doing a wonderful job. But at the same time, you can't claim. That's one thing they don't like to do, is they don't like to claim plots they foiled, because you are potentially giving away the ability in which you foiled.
Right.
So you don't want them to know that, you know, this is how we figured out what you're doing. So you don't want to brag about it. Maybe to like close Senate hearings so you can get more funding. But like, for the average Joe, you want to be like, hey, we foiled their shipping container plan, because now they're never going to try that again. Versus if you keep foiling them secretly, you can just keep bagging them. Just keep, it's one less guy.
Yeah.
So it's either that they are doing a bang up job, or the threat of terrorism isn't actually nearly as bad as we think. I can't think of what other Tom, you froze up. God damn it, Thomas. Get your act together. You there? Tom froze up. Maybe it was the FBI talking about car bombs. Thomas. My dude. Well, I think we lost him. Maybe that was the FBI or the CIA or the NRO or the NSA or the... I don't know where he went, but that is an hour. We were aiming for an hour podcast. So,
hey, can you hear me?
Yo, you back?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was getting ready to wrap it up, but I guess not. This always happens though. Whenever I talk about something that's like clearly going to put me on a watch list, the podcast always shits out. Like, this, I just feel like that's the NSA like winking. Like,
not to open a whole nother conversation, but since the whole quarantine shit, my internet has been garbage.
Oh yeah.
It's really getting old. Like, I have gigabit fiber. This should not be happening.
To be fair, this has happened almost every single podcast.
Really?
With people from literally all over the world at all different times. Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, Google Hangouts. It is, if it doesn't fuck up once, it's very odd. So I don't know. Right. But yeah, I can't think of what other explanation there would be for no car bombs. Either the intelligence communities are just doing a fucking full court press, or the entire threat was, or maybe they're just more incompetent than we could have ever imagined, and that 9/11 was a fluke.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
I mean, if they put AA guns in the back of pickup trucks, I mean, they're not, you know, they're not fucking rocket scientists.
I mean, we see how much things are sensationalized that we can see. We know the reality, but it's sensational in the news. So who's to say the shit that we don't know about, how much is that dramatized? You know?
Yeah. maybe it's like a self-defeating phenomena where it's like the ones that can pull off the most, I mean, the wrong word to use, but I mean, in the eyes of a terrorist, these are the words to use. The ones to pull off the best attacks, the 7/7 attacks in London, the 9/11 attacks in the United States, the ones that pull off the best die doing it.
Right.
So they can no longer.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no passing down of knowledge there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's very. I mean, that's some genetics 101. It's the lineage dies off. So then you could argue, well, no, what if there's a mastermind? And then there's, well, even then, we always snag the masterminds. I mean, they're all sitting in ADX Florence, the maximum security prison in Colorado. The 9/11 guys, they're all there. The ones that they're masterminds. So yeah, it is sort of like a self-defeating. You know, if you're competent enough to pull it off, you're the one piloting the plane, or you're snagged by the CIA.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it is. It's a self-defeating thing, and then it
Could
sort of
be.
bubbles up, and you get a bunch of amateur hour shit, like, you know, AA guns on the back of a fucking Toyota Hilux. But like, it's and then I don't know, man. I don't fucking know.
Well, it's an interesting divide too, looking at a country at a different stage of development. And maybe that's just their Great Wall. They can't progress past that because, you know.
Yeah, because you're killing your best minds. Yeah, and they're they're just stuck there.
Yeah.
Well, I think we spent about 3 minutes on construction, but
hey man, it is what it is. We had a good conversation, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's wrap this bitch up.
All right.
You should definitely come on and do another one sometime, man. That was fun as fuck.
Hell yeah, I'm down whenever, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I'll email you after this. That was fun as fuck. You're easy to talk to. It's good. Cool. I like to shoot the shit.
Yeah, me too, man.
Well, how about we both finish up Far Cry, and then we'll.
Sounds good to me. That sounds like a plan.
I'll hope maybe by next week. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email, or I'll give you my number. But Thomas, thank you for doing it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Glad we talked about racist rednecks and defense contractors in the middle of the fucking deep south. And whoever listening to this, you're probably dumber now.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was entertaining, if nothing else, you know.
Shout out Shitty Technicals. Shout out John Seed.
Fucking John Seed.
Shout out Pagan, man. God, I want his suit. His suit's badass. Audrey, are you listening? Audrey. Did you kill him when you played? Did you kill him?
The first time, yes.
How did you do? I went through the first time and I did everything for Amita. I didn't kill Sabal and I didn't kill Pagan. I just wanted to see what they do.
If I remember correctly, if you kind of stay on Pagan's side, at the end he takes off in a helicopter and you can blow it up. And then you get all his shit.
Yeah, how I did it, Pagan he doesn't try to kill you. He literally gets off in his helicopter and he goes, "I'm giving you Kirat," and he just gives you the country and he goes, "But I'm keeping the helicopter," and then that's it.
Yeah, it's not easy to do, but if you shoot that helicopter down, then you get all his shit.
You get what do you mean?
Like fancy weapons and money and shit.
Oh fuck! I just watched him go off into the sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it! Did you ever do it where you did all the missions for Sabal? I didn't. I started to, but then I downloaded 5 and I just threw the old toy in the corner.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. I played it 3 or 4 times, so probably.
Yeah, I'll start doing it when I do my audiobooks. I'll start going on my run again. But yeah, man, I'm gonna upload this bitch. I'm gonna get some food and yeah. Thanks for doing it, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Peace. Stay safe.
See you later.
Later, buddy.